Light VIP, and with me, I'm joined by my lovely and my beautiful plushies. I'll be later joined by another lovely co-caster, but for now, I am going to be on my own. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Asher, he left me for another man. for another, not a caster, but for Call of Duty. Shaking, man. Este Asher. Oh god, but we'll be able to cast together tomorrow. For now, we're getting ready for our first matchup of the night. It is going to be Team Starving Camels SSLT going up against Berserker Esports, and we were just having a quick look at their roster as well. I know we just glazed past them, but I was really surprised to see Holden. They really put everyone there in that roster, and it's going to be amazing to see some of the lesser known players on Berserker Esports kind of come towards that limelight if they do get the opportunity to play, if that happens. Before that, of course, we have our lineups. We have game one going to be Tudming versus Spats, followed by Silky versus Soul Spirit, and then we end things off with Firefly versus Dimaga. Oh boy, a pretty spicy lineup, to be honest, and there's a lot already going to be going on here. Our first player is going to be Tudming from SSLT, the Starving Camels. The biggest thing to take note of, and you can see it behind Tudming, that is the fact that the camel is actually eating something. For those who don't know, the Starving Camel logo last year was a camel eating a cactus, and the whole meme behind it was that it's a group of players that, you know, they're looking for a little bit more. They're old veteran retirees, and they're starving for that win, for that competition. Now they have grapes. Why are they grapes? I'm not too sure why there are grapes, but regardless, the camel now has some food to eat, and that's always a good thing. And we already have our first matchups here. Tudming versus Spats. Spats has been on fire recently. If you've been watching the Cranky Ducklings, if you've been tuning in to Ascension League, if you've been tuning in to the OSC King of the Hill, Spats has been doing so damn well, getting really impressive results, and he is the Ascension League champion for Code S. Ascension League was a tournament specifically for European players, and Spats really did impress us. This was a month ago. As soon as he won Ascension League, Berserker Esports picked him up. Even in the tweet, in the announcement tweet that Spats got picked up by a team, they specifically stated, showed the screenshot of him winning Ascension League. So that put him on the map a little bit here. You know, it really turned a lot of heads. It turned my head, it turned Asher's head, all the heads, Papi. And because of that, Spats is kind of the players that we're looking at, the player that I'm looking at to maybe even be the ace player of Berserker Esports. And we're looking at him to kind of really lead the way here, especially in this series. It's gonna be a really, I feel like, a relatively close one, and it may come down to momentum on who wins this first series here. Spats has to try and get those points on the board and really kind of show the way for his team, especially against a player like Tudming. Tudming has been around for a very long time. He's a veteran of the StarCraft scene, the Chinese scene, and this is going to be a really big test for Spats, especially internationally. Like, he's been getting a lot of really good results within Europe itself, but now he can kind of spread his wings a little bit more and really show off against some of the Chinese players, the Southeast Asians, the North Americans, even the Koreans. I do think that this is a really good opportunity for him to, maybe get a little bit more recognition amongst the international scene, whether it's on our stream or whether it's on Wardy or Rotterdam, whoever manages to cast the WTL. I look forward to it. I'm expecting great things. I'm going to be expecting great things here, but we are just going to be waiting for the players to set up their lobbies. We do have the stats already being set up as well. Not just the stats, but I believe we also have some predictions. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. The predictions are not on the screen currently, but I promise you they do exist. There we go. We do see, oh my god, 75% of people in the Cranky Ducklings Discord believe in the 2-0 for Spats. I'm one of them. I am definitely one of them. But we'll see how this goes here. A couple of people predicting that Tudming can at least take a game. And hey, maybe maybe we have too much stock in Spats, and maybe Toonming just comes in with the 2-0 as well, which would be really something for not just Toonming, but also maybe a little bit worrisome for Berserker Esports here. You know, they're going up against one of the more middling teams in the season. This is very winnable for both teams, to be fair. So I hope for this one to be a close one. Yo, I see Blake is in chat. I'm one of them too. Let's go. Oh god. Ay. I can join, but I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe we should get Beibling. Beibling's just streaming right now, Poppy. She's laddering. Ay. All good. We can power through this. It's all good. Yeah, we're just gonna be getting ready. The first game is gonna be on Royal Blood. As a reminder to the format as well, because there could be some people tuning in that maybe aren't too familiar with WTL. These are all best of 2s, not best of 3s. And of course, it is going to be losers pick as well. So regardless of what happens, there are no vetoes. The winning player can't like choose to get rid of altitude or get rid of near humanity or something like that. It is all up to the loser to pick where they try and come back. And that's why it can kind of lead to these really interesting scenarios where even if game 1 goes a certain way, game 2, 100%, the players are prepared. They both have in mind their ideal map 2 pick and their ideal kind of build and situation they want to play off of. And that's the team DP maneuver. We have a lot of memes that are carrying over, and Asher and we were talking a lot about it yesterday. And then I just came to realize that there are people that may not know what the team GP maneuver is. But that is when you lose game 1 and then you win game 2. And Team GP, they had some really surprising results last season, where I'm sure like they would maybe struggle on the predetermined map. They would have come out with something special in that second map. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner for Team SSLT. It's Toonming. And in the top right-hand corner, representing Berserker Esports, it is Spats. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. We have our first series here. Oh, and we also have our lovely cameras as well. Toonming with the censored background. You know, there's too much anime prophylia. Oh God, I'm gonna say there's too much going on in the background for Toonming. Spats, he is in the ether. He is in a black hole as we speak. It's just how he does. He's in the void. He's Protoss. It's he's in his element is what I'm trying to say. It makes plenty of sense here for our German Protoss player. But yeah, we'll see what he has in store for us so far. Pretty standard openers. Toonming is forced to take the unnatural natural as to be expected. And we're just getting a nice little pan and a set on the camera on that camel, on those grapes. I'd like to think that Chinese casters are talking about it, and they're talking about how, you know, maybe SSLT got some sponsors and now they can afford to feed the camel. I don't know. We can come up with our own lore. You know, is it you know, the influx of money, or maybe it's to incentivize the camel, maybe it's to punish the camel, maybe the camel likes the cactus. I don't know. These are all questions that need to be answered. As of course we are going to be continuing here. We do see Spats just being a little bit annoying with that probe, just spinning between the mineral patches, just forcing as much inefficient mining as possible, as we can see. And yeah, from here, I imagine we're going to be seeing a Stargate opener. From the games that we got to see from Spats, we didn't really see anything too crazy. I think that was the most impressive thing in the past couple of months. It's not like he's a cheesy player. He can be aggressive, don't get us wrong, but Spats was just so solid. He was, happy. And we'll see how he does here. Once again, Stargate opener from our Protoss player, to be expected, to be honest. Nothing too crazy. It is the much more standard macro opener here in PvZ in current meta. So here we go. First Adept moving out across the map as well. Spats was able to get an eye on that third base timing just to make sure there was no all-in coming from Tudming. I think that's a wise choice. I know I've been focusing a lot on Spats, but Tudming as well can be a very aggressive Zerg player. One of the stronger players on SSLT, of course. A little bit in the shadow, though, of Silky. Silky is, of course, I don't know if I would say the ace player, but he's the best Zerg player in China for a reason. He is so damn good. He even won that show match, the quote-unquote show match. You may be wondering, Silky, I recognize that name. There's an American Silky, right? Well, there are two Silkies. There's a Chinese one and an American one. And 1 week they faced off in ESL Open Cup Asia. They both faced off in the Asian tournament. And the Chinese Silky won. And there was a bit of a storyline going on there where the winner would remain and the loser would either retire or or change their names. And well, you know, one of them's still around, is all I'm saying. Smudge, Bobby, Smudge. Yes, the Chinese Silky did prove himself to be the stronger Silky. Regardless, for now, the first Oracle is just dipping between the bases, threatening that third whenever he can. Just going to be waiting for a little bit, though, because we don't get that one-shot potential until we get the second Oracle coming out. For the time being, Spats just being very safe, back at home with his Adepts, and there we go. Now with the two Oracles, we can one-shot workers. They are that much more deadly, that much more threatening. Oracle's going to be heading towards the natural base. Queens are in position, though, and oh, lovely. We do see those drones main outed back towards the Queens to make sure they're safe, and they aren't caught out by those Oracles. Meanwhile, we have our transition. We got some gates. We got Forge and Twilight Council. Again, very stock standard here as, oh, two drones are going to be going down. Very nicely done here by Spats. Has to be careful not to take too much hull damage, but he should be going into +1 and Blink. He could also be going for +1 and Charge. Charge has been rising in popularity. Oh, as Tudming is throwing down an early Baneling Nest. That's interesting. We have +1 melee on the way, which is normal, but I'm really curious. We're going to keep our eye here on the drone count of Tudming. The Queens do force these Oracles back. The Oracles don't get vision on the drone count at that third base. We do have a fourth hatchery on the way, but I'm not convinced that Tudming really intends to drone up. There we go. 14 Lings are in production. I expect to see more. Oh, and we do see one Queen going down here at the third base. Did I say 14? I meant to say 24, Poppy. We're going to be seeing a Bane Buzz coming out from Tudming, and Spats has to prepare back at home. Oracles are good, but the Oracles haven't done their job. That job is to scout, to confirm the drone count, to confirm how aggressive Tudming is being right now. Spats is in the dark. He's teching right now. He's working on a Robo. He's working on a Bay. This is not what we need. He's being greedy. He's missing Warpins in favor of this tech, and the Banes are about to rock up. 22 more Lings on the way. Tudming is all in. Spats realizes, uh-oh, that's not a lot of drones at the third base. He should be reacting back at home, but it may just be too late. The Banelings roll on in. There's no shield battery. The wall is no longer a wall, and the Ling Bane roll into the natural. The Oracles are going to respond, but the Banelings are already getting into the mineral lines. Probes are falling left and right. Lings are flooding in towards the third, towards the main, every single base. And again, we were skipping Warpins in favor of tech. Spats was being greedy. He was looking towards a later game. He wasn't checking the drone count at the third base until it was too late. And now everything is on fire. Tudming, again, he's known for his aggression, and we can see that coming out here in full swing. GG gets called, and Tudming takes the first game. Whew. And everyone that believed in Spats for the 2-0, mate. I would say that I do think that Spats is the stronger player in a macro game, in a longer game, but Tudming is not going to let the game go on that long, Poppy. He takes game number 1 already, and now it's on Spats to bring it back here. It's on Spats to pick game number 2. Ooh, GG. Tudming doing it as much as I was saying, you know, Spats, he wasn't checking, he wasn't scouting the workers. Tudming was also doing a really good job at denying the scouting. His Queens were doing a great job at deflecting those Oracles time and time again and keeping them away from that mineral line, keeping them away from those bases, making sure that Spats was in the dark. So I do have to commend Tudming there, of course. And now, Spats, it's his map of choice. I predict he knows what his strengths are. I predict, yep, he knows what his weaknesses are. He's going to be going for a larger map here instead. He's going for Ancient Cistern. I was half expecting Near Humanity, but Near Humanity is a double-edged sword. We all know about the roach all-ins that you can do on that small map. So Spats goes for something a little bit larger. Not the largest, not for altitude, because that's a little bit too much. With that goes into some other advantages that a Zerg player could potentially have. But here on Ancient Cistern, Spats, it's going to be easier to scout, and he's going to have more time to react as well to an all-in if it is coming. So I do like the theory behind this map pick. I do believe that Spats wants to get into his game. He wants to play StarCraft. He wants to play StarCraft, Bobby. He wants to play StarCraft, and he wasn't able to. You know, he made like 5 units last game. You know, he made like 3 Oracles, the 2 Stalkers, and an Adept or something. You know, he just didn't really have too much to fight back, too much to speak of. I do think that Spats wants to get into his game, and Ancient Cistern will help him as long as he's able to scout. As long as he's able to see what the hell's going on. Oh boy. Ugh. That lag spike? Oh, not like this. Yeah, hopefully the YouTube clean feed is a little bit better today. Personally, from my side, I haven't had any kind of lag spikes or any kind of issues. So hopefully that remains to be the case here. As we also have a look at the stats here, have a look at that hexagon. I almost called that a hexagram. The hexagon looks like we're giving quite a bit of strategy points here to tuning the offense as well, which makes sense. And you can see here Spats with the defense, with that red color. And I do think that they kind of do have their own styles, and that's reflected in these stats quite well between the aggressor and the defender. And here we go in the bottom left-hand corner. We have representing Team SSLT, Tudming. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, representing Berserker Esports, Spats. Ooh. Here we go. Game number 2. Do I expect Stats to go for... Sorry, I keep saying Stats. Maybe he wants to be Stats. Do I expect Spats to go for a Twilight Council opener? Not at all. I imagine we're going to be seeing a very similar build to last game, but I expect to see a little bit more success from the Protoss side of things. It's going to be on Tudming to switch things up. I know I've been focusing a lot on what Spats wants out of this game, but what does Tudming want? And I think we all know what Tudming wants. He wants the game to end. Tudming wants the game to end in less than 10 minutes, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him whatsoever. Tudming, what is his build going to be? It's going to be a hatch gas pool, so a standard opener. But we saw that even if we have standard openers, this can lead towards Bane Bus, Roach all-ins, Nidus all-ins, which could work well here at Ancient Cistern as well. Tudming has options, and we have to keep our eyes peeled on that drone count, on the gas timings, on the lair timings as well, to figure out what he wants to do. Because, again, I feel like game 1 was telling. Tudming looks like a hunk. Mate, Tudming, he's looking pretty good. Yo, with the fade, Poppy, with the fade. Oh, beautiful. Don't worry about what's behind him. That's not important. What's important is what's in front of that camera. Face first and center. Oh, aye. Meanwhile, it looks like Spats, like, so the program that is being used for Spats is not amazing. Like I feel like Discord does a better job than this. Like it's the cutting here is not it's not good. The jagged edges on his hair. Aye. Get this man a new camera. God damn it. Spats is going to be shifting gears, and I appreciate this. I expected, a standard opener, just like game number 1, and again, Spats being maybe a little bit more attentive when it comes to his scouting, but no, Spats is turning the tables. He's going for a Twilight Council. He could be going for Glaives. If we do get an eye on that main base, we will see the gas count and how many workers we have in gas. That will tell us if it's going to be Glaives or if he intends to tech up even further. We have a Robo being thrown down behind this as well. For the time being, we're just going to have to wait and see what's on the production tab as we're focusing on the Adept. The Adept gets 1 drone kill, backs on off. Additional gateways are on the way. 2 more gates as well. But there is no glaive upgrade, which is peculiar to me. There we go. Glaives now starting up for Spats. So, from my understanding, I believe this is a 3-gate glaive adept. We'll keep an eye on that. There we go. No longer 3. Oh, that's 4. That's 5. That's all in. Count the gates, puppy. Count the gates. 5 gates for the time being. I believe we should be seeing up to 6. We could even go higher than that. So this is going to be very committed out of Spats. Looking to not just do damage, looking to deal game-ending damage. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, Tudming is in the dark. He was able to confirm the Twilight Council, as there is no Oracle coming out. He is fanning out his links here to try and catch that Prism as it moves out as well. Ooh, we have +1 melee on the way. This is a risky maneuver. It looks like Tudming wants to defend against the Glaive Adepts with Queen Ling Bane, which is possible. It is possible. It's just difficult. Oh boy. Spores are on the way, so Tudming, he doesn't know whether this is DTs or if it's Glaive Adepts. +1, again, +1 melee, more lings as well. We're cutting workers at 34. This is pretty early, but because it's going to be 5 gates, I think this is going to be worth it. I think it's okay to cut this early on as long as we're able to shut this down. Oh, and here we go. No Baneling Nest, by the way, so it's only Ling Queen. No roaches whatsoever to work with. The Adepts, they shade in towards the natural base, and they're going to be able to utilize these minerals to provide some of that surface area. A lot of these Lings are going to be going down, but they take down a decent chunk of the Adepts. Ooh. Only 3 Adepts survive here. They make it on through. Baneling Nest is thrown down. Tudming is looking to clean this up and also go for a Bane Bust counterattack. Spats is transitioning? Oh. Honestly, especially because it's only Lings, I wouldn't be opposed to just keep warping in. Just keep warping in wave after wave of Adepts and just keep trading against the Zerg player. But he's throwing down a Bay, which means he wants to cut warp-ins, he wants to avoid warp-ins, and he wants to go into Disruptors. I don't know how I feel about this. This is a risky move, Bobby. This is a risky move because Tudming is not making workers. He is at 33 drones, and he doesn't intend to make any more. He's going for a Ling Bane bust, and we need more Adepts here. We don't need Disruptors. Here we go. We have another warp-in of Adepts, so that Bay is about to finish up across the map. Again, we don't have as many Adepts as we could have had, but we still have plenty, to be fair. And, yo, we can focus down the Queens. Let's go. 1 Queen. It goes down. The other Queen barely gets saved here. Lings, they do have +1 melee, to be fair, but the Adepts are still going to trade favorably. Ooh, the surround is real. The Banelings are looking for those connections. Up, show it. Ay, 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 and it looks like a Baneling did connect there. Ooh, 4 Adepts survive. 1 Adept makes it across the map. We have continued Ling production. The first Disruptor is on the way, but again, I don't feel like Disruptors are going to work that well against this. Upon seeing all those Lings, I wouldn't have been opposed to a Colossus, to be honest. Like, Colossus would actually be pretty good in this situation where it's only pure Ling. To be fair, Spats, he doesn't know that. For all he knows, there could be a Roach Warren, like, at the 3rd base or hidden in the main. As the Lings are going for a counterattack. No shield battery! The wall is soon no longer about to be a wall. We do have a warp-in behind this. Ooh, thankfully. Adepts do shade into the main base. Immediately, they're being surrounded by these +1 melee Lings. The Queens are trying to support however they can. The Adepts do make it into a mineral line, but don't get any drone kills. Oh, I spoke too soon. 1, 2, 3. Every drone being killed right now matters so much, just because we have so few workers to deal with. Oh, but the Baneling bust is here. Oh my god, we bust on it. We cancel the warp-in. Oh god, and the Lings have made it into the natural base. We have 2 Disruptors to defend, but Disruptors against Ling Bane, it's not amazing. The splits are too good. The response is too good. Tudming, Bane busting 2 games in a row. He is doing this. He does back off for the time being. He's waiting for more reinforcements. There is that Colossus that we were talking about. The Colossus is going to be big defensively. But Tudming, is he going to give him that time? The Colossus only just now started, and Tudming is getting ready for the second wave. The Disruptors, they do move out. The walls on the wall! No! Nova's gonna go off half-decent shot, but the Disruptors go down. The Lings as well. Tudming he's doing it. He's breaking the main. He's breaking the natural base. GG gets called. and Toonming takes the series 2-0. Whew. Wow, GG. Toonming, known for his aggression, known for his aggressive styles, despite him having that reputation, doesn't even matter, mate. Toonming's able to pull it off anyway, and he takes a 2-0 lead here for his team, for the Starving Camels. That's actually a really solid result. That's a really good result here for SSLT to 2-0 Spats in the first round. Spats, one of the stronger players on Berserker Esports, arguably the ace player as well. This is going to be a rocky start here, especially because moving on from here, we have a ZVZ. This can be a little bit unpredictable. I do think that Silky is a stronger macro Zerg player than Toonming. They're kind of two sides of the same coin. Toonming's the cheeser, Silky's the macro player. But in a ZVZ, anything can happen. So Soul Spirit, he does have a good chance, but now the pressure is on Soul Spirit here to fight back for his team, to put some points on the board, and to make a series out of this. Oof. Oh. Meanwhile, massive shout out to Blaker-Doos in the chat for the 100 bits. Thank you so much, Papi. Thank you. We appreciate it. We love the support. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. And yeah. I mean, this is gonna be an interesting one. Soul Spirit, he has a little bit of history behind him. He has made it into the DreamHack group stage before. He has made it the DreamHack group stage for Europe, I should say, for the European portion, a couple of years ago. So Soul Spirit has proven himself to be amongst the best in Europe in the past. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Soul Spirit was even able to cause some ZVZ upsets as well. Am I mistaken? I'm pretty sure we casted Soul Spirit 2-0 Serral. Am I crazy? Was it Serral or was it Rainer? Am I losing my mind? Head to head. I remember casting, this was maybe 2021. I need to confirm this. They did play in 2019. Hold on. Am I thinking of a different Zerg? Am I thinking of Young Yakov? I could be thinking of Young Yakov, to be fair. Nah, there's no way. There it is. It was Rainer. Oh, it was a great time. 2022 Valencia, Europe. We were lucky enough to cast the B stream for DreamHack, and Soul Spirit did 2-1 Rainer last year. So showing off here that Soul Spirit does have some world-class ZVZ available to him if he is in form on the day. So yeah, despite the fact that the WTL admins are giving him a bit of a D here in terms of his overall ranking, he can spike up, he can punch up, he can take down literally some of the best Zerg players in the world. So this is going to be a spicy one, a spicy ZVZ. Oh, we can see they've kind of given Soul Spirit an edge in defense. They're giving Silky an edge in offense. This is kind of reminiscent to what we saw in the last in the last stats, in the last hexagons. Oh boy, and game one is going to be taking place on Dragon Scales. Let's go. Light diving into the archives. Man, I remember casting, Bobby. I remember casting Soul Spirit take down Rain. It was a massive upset. I remember everyone was shocked. I remember the mainstream were a little bit jealous because the way it works is the mainstream, they pick the match and then we get the leftovers. And we got Soul Spirit versus Rainer, which happened to be an upset, which was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, it was good times to be had. Good times. But yeah. Oh, despite that was some time ago. That was for DreamHack Valencia last year, and we'll see if Soul Spirit can harness what is within him once again. And meanwhile, Silky, not one to be taken lightly. He is arguably the best Zerg player in all of China right now. I think I would say it's between Silky and Hyperion for the Chinese Zergs. Hyperion has been a little bit more active recently, so it can sometimes be hard to kind of pick between the two of them. But regardless, Silky is still an amazing player, and a lot is expected of him. But it's always hard to kind of bring that up in mirror matchups, because in mirror matchups, like, there's so much more chaos that can ensue. We can see 12 fools, we can see 13 12s, 12 11s, we can have a Bane bust, we can have a Roach roll in off of 2 bases, we can have 2 base Muta. Like, there's just so much variety available here in this matchup between these two players. Oh. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Exclamation mark prediction. There you go. Oh right. Oh, sorry. What are the predictions looking like right now? Let's go. So very few of us have predicted the 2 zeros in either way. Looks like the majority of people predicted it for the 1-1 for the tied series. Oh boy. And yeah, I feel like mirror matchups are usually the case. Like this is usually how things are in mirror matchups, unless there's like a clear favorite, like your Maru or your Hero or something like that. So yeah, a lot of people going for the middle of the road kind of prediction here, going for that 1-1. I think I myself also picked 1-1 as well. I want to say that was my prediction as well. Yo, who picked 2-0 Silky? Was that Yaku? That sounds like a Yaku pick. Not gonna lie. Let's
Note
go,
from
Bobby,
production,
let's
it
go.
was Yaku.
Yeah. Did the chat hear that, Kuro? Did the chat hear that? Yeah. Yeah, that does sound like a Yaku pick. You know, he's a bit of a fan. He's a bit of a Silky fan. But here we go. We're getting into the bottom right-hand corner representing Team SSLT. It is Silky. And in the top left-hand corner, representing Berserker Esports, Soul Spirit. He's not Soul. He's not Spirit. He's not a Terran. He's also not from Poland. But he is Soul Spirit. Because that's not confusing. Ay. As we do get a look at the cams here, looks like Silky maybe with the focus not set in for his own camera. Looks like a little bit off that, or maybe an older camera. I can't quite tell. Meanwhile, Soul Spirit, mate, his camera's like in his face. It's it's like sticking out from the monitor. Oh my god. Hopefully it doesn't distract him too much from the game itself. Hopefully he can look past it and focus on the ZVZ at hand. Speaking of, shout out to the sponsors for WTL, TGI Fridays, Doyu, Hypergriff, Trio, and Rio. Oh, beautiful. I will always miss Hojo though. Hojo. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yeah. Do we know much about the sponsors? Not really. But over the course of the season, we will slowly learn more about them. We will come up with our own memes, and yeah, in my mind, these players are fighting for that Rio ticket for Rio de Janeiro. Let's go. Let's go. Meanwhile, when it comes to the openers, for those who maybe didn't notice, Soul Spirit did go for a pool first opener. Very safe opener, but he makes 6 lings. So with this pool first, it does mean that Soul Spirit's economy is going to be behind that of his opponent. This isn't all in by any means. It's just very committed, and it does have to do some counter damage to make up for the fact that Soul Spirit cut workers. So 6 things are going to be rushing across the map. Silky gets eyes on this with his Overlord, and he should be evacuating that natural base to make sure that no drones get caught out here, and you know, we minimize our losses. And there we go, no drones whatsoever at that natural. The lings are kept in the mineral line, so we can pull workers and we can defend in conjunction with the lings. As I say that, there we go. Oh, nice control so far. We do see lings trying to get some damage. Can they get a drone? Up. Oh my god. The spore trick. That was so close. Oh no, Silky. In the end, Silky will not lose any workers, but he was forced to be a little bit inefficient. He was forced to keep all of his drones in his main base, and as a result had some inefficient mining going on. Meanwhile, across the map, oh my god, oh no, show us. What? Observer, what did it live? I think the drone lived. I think it lived. It looked like the drone was barely going to survive, but we'll never know. we'll never know, Papi. We'll never know. Yeah, we do see both players kind of bouncing off each other here, and we do see once again, wow, actually Soul Spirit being very aggressive right now. He's cutting workers. He doesn't have a third base on the way. He's just gonna be flooding a massive swell of lings. And the same can be said, oh, never mind. A similar thing can be said for Silky. There we go. Third base is on the way for Soul Spirit. Is just going to be applying some pressure here. Silky, likewise, has his own flood of lings on the way. But neither player is invested into a Baneling Nest. Silky, we can see he's using that gas to go for a faster lair, and that is scouted by Soul Spirit. So no Banelings, just Ling versus Ling for both players. Really interesting how that dynamic kind of shaped up here. Meanwhile, Silky does have the Ling advantage, so he's going to be able to bully Soul Spirit away for the time being. Some reinforcements do come in, but yo, he's focusing down that hatchery. Will pull away at that last one, but he's going to get it! Up, up! Oh, he does force the cancel. Oh. Quiet molding. Look, I'm just saying that the camera panned away as the drone was dying, okay? That's a weird time to pan away. It's fine, Poppy, it's fine. Oh my god. Meanwhile, we do see Silky with a bit of an advantage here, forcing that cancel on the third base. A Baneliness is on the way for Soul Spirit, but a little bit too late. They can't really apply too much aggression at this natural base, and Silky with that faster lair is going for the Spire. Mutas are on the way. Bearing in mind that Soul Spirit is aware of this. He scouted the lair earlier, so he can piece together that this should be two-base Muta. Once again, the third is being surrounded, and once again, Silky gonna force another cancel. Oh, likewise, Silky forced to cancel his own hatchery as well, so both players' economies are going to be around the same, even though Silky has a drone lead. Not the biggest of deals with the same production. The big advantage, though, is the tech, and Soul Spirit wants to try to end the game before that tech really gets out of hand. He doesn't want to let those mutas get map control here for Silky. Oh god! Oh no! He wasn't looking, Poppy. The Banelings find beautiful connections on these things, and that may just be it. Soul Spirit with his own all-in breaks through the queens, breaks through the lings, and there's nothing left to defend. Literally nothing left. The mineral line goes down, and we still have Banelings left over to get into the main. GG gets called, and Soul Spirit takes game number 1. Ooh. GG. Silky being so greedy this game. Unreasonably greedy. What I mean by that, he was going 2-base Muta, which is fine. Fine, you can do your 2-base Muta. But usually when you're going 2-base Muta, you take certain precautions to be safe against this sort of thing. Whether it's a defensive Baneling Nest, or even just walling off at the natural. Look out for it, look out for it. As we're going to be getting ready here for our next game, Silky, it is going to be his map of choice, and he's going for Babylon. Interesting. Babylon does have its own kind of quirks as well. The rush distance does kind of snake around through the center of the map. The third base can be quite open and quite vulnerable. I wonder if Silky wants to try. I doubt he's going to go for 2-base Muta again. I feel like that's something you do once in a series. Even if it worked, I doubt we're going to see him try to do it 2 games in a row. You need a way bigger rubber duck. It should be bigger than the plushies. Unfortunately, hold on. Can we see it on the? It's being green screened out. There we go. There he is. The duck. I only have a small duck. I have a smaller duck actually. Hold on. Oh, the smaller one's a USB, Poppy. It's a USB. They're beautiful. We don't have the funding for a big duck, as in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Chinese Zerg player for SSLT, Silky. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, the French Zerg player, it is Soul Spirit, Berserker Esports. My mind was still thinking about Spats. That's what. That's where the German came from. Oh, but here we go in. Oh, Silky. Oh my god, he's going for a gas pool hatch opener here. Very aggressive coming out from our blue Zerg player, so he's going to be switching gears entirely. Soul Spirit is going for a hatch first, so economic opener from Soul Spirit, very aggressive from Silky. With this faster gas, he can rush into Ling's speed, and he can also go into a Bane Bust behind that as well. This can also be difficult to read because if Silky expands, and he should, this could also look like a regular pull first opener, so that Link speed timing can catch Soul Spirit off guard if he doesn't confirm it. Oh boy. So this is going to be a fast one. This This is going to be a fast series here. Hatch Gas Pool coming out from Soul Spirit, so very standard, very economic. 6 Lings are already on the way for Silky, and Ling Speed should be starting up as soon as we get 100 gas, and there it is. Ling Speed in production. Meanwhile, quickly looking at the at least economy there, it looks like Silky didn't pull out of gas, which means we should be seeing a Baneling Nest as soon as he hits 50 gas. There we go. Ling's going to be flooding across that. There we go. Yep, he did not pull out. He pulls one out for that Baneling Nest. This is the stock standard light build. Gas, pool, hatch. Vamonos, papi, vamonos. Very aggressive. The Lings are revealed. Soul Spirit is aware of what's going on. He's making Lings defensively. He's making his queens as well. But he doesn't know about the follow-up Banelings. That's the scary part. Lings, not so much. I mean, Soul Spirit opened up pool first. Last game, if you recall. So this is looking pretty similar to that. This shouldn't really be tipping Soul Spirit off too much, as the two players are going to dance here in the main base, back and forth, not really committing yet. Silky wants to hide his Ling Speed for as long as possible as well. He wants to try and reveal that at an opportune moment. Oh, as he actually goes toe-to-toe here with these Lings. Does back off for the time being. 10 more Lings on the way. Silky is all in. He is Ling flooding. The Baneling Nest is now done. Soul Spirit's going 2-base. Oh, no! Soul Spirit's going 2-base lair. Banelings are being morphed in. They are not being scouted. Soul Spirit, he doesn't know he is at least making Lings defensively, which is good because he does see Silky coming across the map. There we go. A Spine Crawler is on the way. Is it going to be done in time? The Spine is in the main. Soul Spirit is giving up that hatchery. Now we've got some options here. Silky, if he wants to, he can expand. He can expand behind this. The boys are coming down? Question mark? I don't really think it's safe to do so here, as the queens are going to be focused down one after the other. There is no transfuse. The Ling Bane is rolling on in. Both queens are going to go down, and the Spine Crawler isn't done. Up, up. Oh, the splits are looking a little bit good. The Banelings are being preserved here. The Spine Crawler is cancelled, and this may just be game. These Banelings have to be saved. Oh, one of them gets wasted on only 2 Lings. We use that on 4 Lings as well, and it looks like that may just be it. GG gets called. Silky ties up the series 1-1, taking game 2. Ooh, GG. With the gas first opener here, it is going to be that 1-1, so most of the people predicted correctly. There you go. I was a little bit concerned after game number 1, not gonna lie, but yes, in the end, we are gonna go 1 apiece here between Silky and Soul Spirit. Unfortunately, Soul Spirit, he wasn't quite able to scout what was happening, and even though he saw Lings coming across the map, to go for the lair first, crazy, mate, crazy. To go for a lair that quickly, he just wasn't really prepared for what was coming his way. He had 1 Spine Crawler on the way, but we saw that it just wasn't thrown down in time. He didn't recognize that he needed it until it was too late. Ooh. GG. A lot of this also comes down to the fact that that Soul Spirit didn't Ling Scout either. He didn't send 2 Lings immediately across the map, despite the skirmish that was going on. Yeah, he was just left unawares as to what was happening. And now we're already going towards that final best of 2. Firefly versus Dimaga. Oh boy, here we go. Set 3, the third matchup between these two teams. Firefly has been on fire recently. He's been soaring. He's been flying out the wazoo. I don't know where I'm going with that. But Firefly has been doing really well. Firefly and Jeshi are 2 really powerful Chinese players that are really looking to prove themselves to be up there among the stars, like your Oliveira. Of course, they're not world champions. I'm not going that far, but they're still very strong players in the region. Dimaga, likewise, has been around for a very long time. He's a veteran of the StarCraft scene, and he's a pretty powerful player. But when it comes to who has momentum and who's hot right now, I do have to say that that's Firefly at the moment. Dimaga, ooh, he's going to have to come into this prepared. And that's the great thing about WTL. The players have days to prepare. They have days to get ready for their match, to get ready for their map, to get ready for their opponent, and they can come in with very specified builds. So even if you have a player that's a little bit more favored than another player, that may not matter, because preparation can kind of sway things in favor of an underdog. You know, if they're able to prepare that much more, if they're able to read and study and look up and research their opponents, that is when upsets can happen. And I wouldn't say that Dimaga beating Firefly is a big upset. I wouldn't go that far, but still, like, he does have to do it for his team. To put things into context, if we look at the overall series, Firefly needs to win 1 game, Dimaga needs to win 2 in a row. He cannot afford to lose a map right now. If he does, then that will be it for his team. Then SSLT will take the series. The pressure is on Dimaga, but he's a veteran. I'm sure he's used to the pressure. I'm sure the pressure doesn't really faze him whatsoever. He is more than willing to, put it all on the line here and fight his heart out. So I'm not really too concerned with, his like mental state coming into this or anything like that. I'm mainly looking at, his builds here, what he comes prepared with in this ZVP. Because, hey, all-ins, cheeses, timing attacks are all quite possible here in this matchup. From either player, to be fair. I see in the chat. Dimaga eats pressure for breakfast, Bobby. It's true. It's true. Unfazed, Bobby. Unfazed. Ugh. Let's go. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it because I'm not streaming. But massive shout out to Babylings in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. We really do appreciate it. Gracias. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great ladder stream. Hope you had a great time on the ladder. Oh, gracias. Is it trio or is it tie? Oh, I didn't notice, babe. Kuro. I'm not too sure, but are we gonna have predictions set up here as well in the ZVP? But are we gonna go that long? Game 1 is gonna be on Neo Humanity. Oh my god. Ooh, okay. This is gonna be an interesting one. So Firefly, I don't think he's the kind of player to really just like hunker down and go for these late game scenarios and try to rush into Skytoss. It's possible. It is possible to pull off on Neo Humanity, but I don't think he's that kind of player. When I think of a Roach All-In, I do kind of think of Dimaga. I think he can come in quite aggressive here on Neo Humanity. I do want to give him the edge here. I do want to believe. I want to believe. Meanwhile, how do the people believe? Looking at that viewer game prediction there, the Cranky Duckling community is split 50-50, Papi. 50-50. We've got, I think actually, it's kind of split 50-50. So it's split in favor of 2 O's or 1 1s. No one predicted the 2-0 from Dimaga. That is a bit concerning. Dimaga, he has to fight against the people because Dimaga needs the 2-0 to force the ace match.
Right.
Oh.
Dimaga, not Dimaga.
Sorry,
right,
I keep saying Dimaga. I'm so sorry.
You've been saying it for the past 10 minutes.
Dimaga. I was saying Dimaga. Dimaga, someone else.
Dimaga, come back.
Dimaga, come back, Bobby. Come back. For those who don't know, Dimaga is another pro player. Dimaga. Oh, smooch, Bobby, smooch. Oh. I don't think anyone noticed. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity. We have the Chinese Protoss player for SSLT, Firefly. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the Red Zerg, Dimaga. I think I have a little bit of time here to explain. Oh, let's go, Papi. Oh, I want to believe. Oh, no. No. We're suspended. No. Was it the chest? Ay. WTL. Not like this, Papi. Not like this. So for those who are coming in from the raid, WTL is casted from a clean feed. So the World Team League admins or organizers, so they do kind of run that clean feed, and ourselves, Wardy, Steadfast, whoever, we all cast from the clean feed. But that clean feed has been brought down. Not like this, Papi. Not like, what happened? Oh, smooch. We're gonna be waiting for a little bit, and I'm sure they're gonna try their best to bring it back. Oh, what about the Twitch stream? Is the Twitch stream live? Let's check out this because they do stream to YouTube and Twitch. Twitch is live. Twitch is live. Great. Twitch is live. Let me know when you've switched over. As we do have a hatch gas pool opener here from Dimaga. Pretty standard. Everything's looking quite normal. Same Firefly going for a gate expand. Just quickly catching you up here with the goings on in this game. The YouTube stream is down, but Twitch is up. Oh. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Whew, let's go. So I was about to bring up the fact that because of the cut on Dimaga's camera, it looks like maybe he's like, you know, he's showing a little bit more chest there, and maybe that's against YouTube TOS. You know, maybe Dimaga's looking a little bit too hot. That's what I'm going to assume. As we get into this, ooh, thankfully we weren't really slowed down too much, and thankfully nothing major happened while the stream was down. Beautiful, Bobby, beautiful. Oh. From here, Firefly is going for a pretty standard Stargate opener, as to be expected. From the side of Dimaga, it looks like his third hatchery was delayed. Looks like he stayed on 2 bases a little bit longer instead, and Firefly is looking to maybe try and punish that a little bit. He's headed towards that mineral line, looking to try and deal some damage. No Lings to defend, but it looks like no drones were killed. Nice pull there from Dimaga. Nice being able to save the majority or every single one of those drones. Oh, but did I speak too soon? Oh my god. As the Lings do come out in time as well to fend off those Adepts. Meanwhile, with that Stargate opener, it is going to be that Oracle first, as to be expected here in this matchup, in this meta. Interesting that Firefly isn't really going to be adapting too hard to this map, just going for the standard. Oracle first, it goes across the map. Oh, does take a lot of hits, though, as it does run past that third hatchery. Oof. Not like this, puppy. Not like this. The Lings are going for a bit of a counterattack as well, looking to try and punish this third. But the Adepts are in position. We do have some nice SimCity, and I believe we have another Oracle in the vicinity as well. So, yeah, these Lings aren't going to be doing much damage whatsoever. Despite that, Dimaga at least has, you know, some map control, and he is free to drone from here. What was I trying to say earlier? Oh, yeah. So, Dimaga is a Peruvian Protoss player who used to live in Peru but currently lives in Italy. And he has pretty close ties with the Ducklings. He was a good friend. A lot of the South American or the Latin American pro players are quite fond of us, and we do have some close relations. So yeah. Dimaga, not to be confused with Dimaga. Yeah. And he hasn't touched the game in like a year, but smooch. I miss him so much. I miss him. Oh, my Dimaga. Regardless, we are, of course, going to be continuing with this game, and again, nothing too crazy. Oh, the most interesting thing, though, is that we do actually have a Void Ray on the way from Firefly. It looks like he isn't committing to Sky Toss. He went triple Oracle into Void Ray. He has a Twilight Council behind this, so it shouldn't be a commitment into Void Rays. It looks like Firefly is just investing just to clear out Overlords, just to deny vision. Interesting choice, because at this stage of the game, I don't know if that's really too important right now. Like, we should be getting into Blink Stalkers, and they're the ones with the anti-air. They're the ones that should be cleaning up these Overlords. Speaking of, there it is. Blink is on the way, as well as +1. We have that one stray random Void Ray going across the map, and we'll see what it can get done. Well, it was off screen, but there we go. Looks like we do have a kill on one of those Overlords. It sounds like the audio is not quite synced either. But one Overlord does go down at least. We do see Firefly just sharking around, looking for whatever other damage he can find. Queen's venturing off of creep just to make sure that the Oracles are fended off for at least some time. I think we're going to restart the Twitch stream. Oh, no, sorry. The YouTube stream is back up. I was really confused because I was hearing double audio. But the YouTube stream is also back up, so we can switch to that later on if we wish. No longer suspended. Feels good, man. Feels good. Let the chest be free. As Dimaga's just getting into Ling, Roach, Ravager. Again, pretty standard setup here. It's what we expect from Dimaga. When I do think of Dimaga in ZVP, Roach is his unit of choice. And he has a really interesting kind of approach to this matchup as well. He usually doesn't drone too heavily. He usually goes for these like super maxed armies, which can be really threatening, but can also be relatively all in as well. Just because again, Dimaga is a little bit slower to take a fourth and to take a fifth. He's more concerned with like bolstering his army than with bolstering his economy. It is just Dimaga's play style overall here. Meanwhile, Firefly just going to be chilling back at home, slowly expanding, taking his own fourth base, taking up, getting into a bay, getting into a second robo, into double disruptor production. This is all looking quite solid here from Firefly, but he's moving onto creep. He's moving deep onto creep, and he's going to be exposing himself to Dimaga's army. A couple of deaths are going to be going down. Nice bait there. One roach does trigger that stasis trap. Dimaga not going to be caught unawares, not going to be caught with his pants down. He knows what the stasis traps are. You love to see it. That is just stopping the Stalker army from pushing on forward, though. He wants to try and pick off some of these queens. Again, looking to try and bait the Roach army into those traps. Up! Oh, the hold position, Micro! Oh! Let's go! Mate, Dimaga, his eyes are too keen, Papi. He sees all, he knows all. The Roach is going to be able to hold on to this fourth base. The Stalkers are going to try and break on through, but again, there's plenty on the ground to defend, plenty to deflect. The Oracles, though, they come in from behind, and they're at least going to be able to get one drone. Can we get two? Can we get three? Looks like we'll get three, but for the cost of an Oracle, this hasn't really paid for itself here for Firefly. He's going for some Void Ray Harass at the same time. He's trying to pull apart the attention of Dimaga, but he's not quite doing it. Meanwhile, Dimaga, even though I would say his signature unit is a Roach, he's taking up. He's going into Hydras, going into Lurkers. A Hive is on the way as well. Hydra, Lurker, Viper would be a very good composition here against Ground Toss. That's exactly what Dimaga is going for. But it's going to take time. There's going to be a window where Firefly has 4 disruptors, and Dimaga's still going to be stuck with a subpar army. He does have 5 Lurkers now, but he doesn't have those Lurker upgrades. He doesn't have the Hive upgrades. So without range, those disruptors are still going to be threatening to the Zerg army. Oh boy. And here we go. The Roach army is pushing in towards that fourth base. Disruptors are waiting for Dimaga. They do zone him back for the time being. Going to be buying Firefly some more time for some more warp-ins. Or even Blinks aggressively here, picking up another handful of these Roaches. Dimaga respecting this, and to be fair, Dimaga wants to get rid of these Roaches. Oh, the stasis trap! Oh my god, not just one. Oh, okay, just one. But one massive stasis trap in the third base, going off for Firefly. You see him pushing on forward as well. The Lurkers, where are they? They're not quite in position. They were actually going across the map. They're going to be coming in from behind. Disruptors are going to be going off. They do connect with the Lurkers, but only one Lurker will go down. Oh, the Hydras take some massive hits, though. And even though we have some Lurkers, we just don't have an army to support them. Dimaga needs a little bit more time. Firefly is going to be respecting those Lurkers, is going to back off. Well, as I say that, he's coming back in once again with another Nova. Ooh, he gets 2 Lurkers. Not like this. Another Lurker is going to go down. That's what I was talking about. Again, without Lurker range, they're still vulnerable to Disruptor shots, to Purification Novas, and we are seeing that here and now. We see a Blink on forward as well. We dive on top of the Morphing in Lurkers, and it looks like this is just a little bit too much. Firefly is snowballing. Even without detection, the Novas that they find at their connections, that's a kill, not a cancel on the 5th hatchery. Ugh. And so many Lurkers have died this game. The Disruptor control is just too damn good. Ay. And we can see the Queens are brought to the front line to just try and buy some more time here for reinforcements. But the damage has been done. Firefly has gotten so much value with this army, and the Disruptor count just keeps getting higher and higher. That's the other impressive thing is, oh, we do have a Disruptor rallying into its death there, but overall, Firefly has done an amazing job at keeping those Disruptors alive and just getting more value out of them, getting additional shots off as every Queen goes down. GG gets called, and Firefly takes game number 1. Not just game 1, but the series for the Starving Camels. Ooh. GG. GG, well played. We're still going to be playing out game number 2, but we have confirmation that the Starving Camels SSLT are taking this series here. Again, Silky versus Soul Spirit was quite close. That first match, it feels like it kind of set the tempo for the series. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, Game 2 is still going to be played out for points and for seeding purposes. This can still impact the overall placement and standing of these teams, especially when we get towards those playoffs. And Dimaga, his map of choice. We're loading into the final game here of this series. In the bottom left-hand corner for the Starving Camels, it's Firefly. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have Dimaga for Berserker Esports. Now, Dimaga, again, may have already lost that first game, but he can bring it back here in game number 2. He can fight for his pride. He can prove to us all that, again, his ZVP is on par with Firefly's. And I do believe it does have a good chance here on this map, on Ancient Cistern. We have so many different angles of attack, and surrounds and engagements are oh so important, so crucial for the Zerg army. They can very easily swing a fight in favor of Dimaga if he's able to take those kind of approaches to the oncoming fights. Oh. Meanwhile, we just got updated. The YouTube stream just got suspended for a second time. So because it just got suspended, I imagine we should probably stick with the Twitch stream for the foreseeable future, just because without it, we may just end up with some other technical issues. So we'll stick with this. So good. Oh. Meanwhile, Hatch Gas Pool opener here from Dimaga. Nothing too crazy. He's forced to take the unnatural natural, which is a little bit more impactful on Ancient Cistern just because the bases are far further apart than on some of those other maps. So we'll see if Firefly can take advantage of that. Meanwhile, I don't really expect Firefly to change things up too much. There was nothing too fancy with his play last game. He was relatively passive and defensive, and that's kind of the thing to take note of. Despite going for a +1 and blink, he never really hit a +1 blink timing. Like, he was a little bit aggressive, but he never really committed. He was more concerned with taking a 4th base and taking up into disruptors before really pushing out. It's going to be a little bit harder to do something like that on Ancient Cistern, though, just because your bases are a little bit more exposed. It's that much more easier for the Zerg player to harass you and to punish your bases as well. So again, that's why it does make a lot of sense for Dimaga to pick this map as his map of choice. And yeah, from here, things are just going to be settling down a little bit. The Adepts just shading in between the bases, looking to catch any transferring workers. But Dimaga, he's too good for that. You know, he's going to be keeping his drones in his main and his 3rd base, making sure nothing gets caught out. Oh. See, that does manage to shade out in time. Meanwhile, we did have a Stalker opener here from Firefly. Interesting. So the reason why it's interesting is that Stalker openers are usually designed to hide your tech. They're designed to pin that Overlord back at that natural and make it difficult to scout the main. And usually this is in favor of a Twilight Council. But we can see that we invested the gas into that Stalker, and we're still going for a Stargate anyway. So Firefly is playing a little bit of mind games here. He's trying to get into the head of Dimaga and yeah, make him become a little bit underprepared here for the Oracle. We are going to have plenty of queens, but are we going to have the spores required? That's going to be the question here, as the Lings are going to be threatening to enter that natural base. Just going to be poking, prodding, looking for any kind of 3rd to come out. What's important as well is that depending on the positioning of these Lings, we may even see the Oracle as it comes out. Meanwhile, Dimaga is cutting drones really early, actually. Oh, this is almost looking like a Glaive Adept response. We have a Roach Warren on the way, cutting drones at 33. This is gonna force Dimaga to be aggressive here. He has to make something happen. Then we go, the 3rd Nexus is revealed, but the SimCity's a little bit too good. Spores are now on the way. I think Dimaga has been bamboozled. Yeah, he's droning. No! Dimaga was so convinced it was going to be Glaive Adepts again because of that Stalker and because he didn't get to scout the main base. The Oracle was the last thing he was really expecting. As a result, Dimaga did cut drones very early on. The Lings don't do any damage. Thankfully, neither will these oracles. They only get a couple of drone kills here and there. But the damage that was done was the fact that drones weren't made and lings were. And as a result, the pressure is on Dimaga to find some damage. These lings, they have to pay for themselves. We have to do something with them. But what exactly? We can't deny the third because there's an oracle there. There are adepts. There's SimCity. The natural has a shield battery. Yeah, those lings are just kind of dead supply for the time being. And every one of those lings, or I guess every two of those lings, could have been a drone. That's kind of the issue that we're in right now. So Dimaga, again, getting into his own head a little bit, is going to have to recover from this point. Just hyper-focusing on drone production for the time being. We have a lair on the way, gases as well. The oracles are looking to dive into the main base. Again, they don't really have to do too much economic damage because it's already been done in a way. Firefly dipping in, going for the revelation, just confirming the timing of the lair. No additional gases. Like, Firefly, he's got to be feeling pretty good about himself. Like, this is a solid opener here for our Protoss player. Oh my god, did he make a third and a fourth oracle? But did I see that correctly? Oh my god. Here we go. The oracles dip on in. They get another couple of drones here and there wherever they can. They're even going to be able to chip away at these lings. And oh my god, we're going to have to cancel this fourth. That is unfortunate. The power of the oracle. You know, why stop at 4? Just keep making them. I mean, Hero does it. It can work. We've seen it work on this channel. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Oh, the oracles are forced back once again. Just getting another handful of drones, but this is slowly adding up. You know, every now and then we get 2 drone kills, 3 drone kills. And what's important is that every single oracle has survived so far. And now here we go. Firefly is going for a counterattack. He's got that proxy pylon being set up outside of that 4th base. The oracles dive in once again, getting another 3 to 4 drone kills. Maybe even 5. I'm not really too convinced by this push. Dimaga has a pretty big army, to be honest. I don't think this is necessary. Oh, but a massive stasis trap goes off on the majority of those lings. Ay, ay, ay. And those lings were quite necessary here to buffer for the roaches. And here we go. Firefly is pushing on in. He's diving on top of the queens. The queens aren't able to transfuse in time. They're going to go down one after the other. The lings are about to break out of that stasis trap, though. So Firefly has to be careful not to overextend. And here we go. The lings coming from behind. The stalkers are forced to blink out of there. Queens coming into support. They do take down 2 of those oracles. And the gateway isn't done. Ooh, a slow warp in is not what we want to see here. Again, Firefly just being premature with his push. Yeah, the gateway is going to be shut down, and Firefly, he cannot gain any more ground from here. Again, Firefly was already ahead economically. There was nothing really forcing him to attack, and I feel like he played into Dimaga's hands. Dimaga had an abundance of roaches and lings. He was ready for a fight. Ooh, 17. Oh, that's a lot of stalkers. Losing 17 stalkers is actually a really big deal here. Firefly is on the back foot. He doesn't have a standing army right now. Not one large enough to deal with all these roaches. Dimaga has the momentum. Dimaga even, sorry. He's cutting workers here at 57. He's making nothing but lings and nothing but roaches. He's going to be rushing everything across the map. He's powering through those rocks in the middle, and he's going to be looking to end the game. Can Firefly defend? Right now, he's being pulled completely out of position. Oh boy, he needs to be here at his 3rd base, but he doesn't know, Papi. He doesn't know. Finally, the roaches reveal themselves, but the stalkers, they're just not where they need to be. The shield batteries are barely going to support them. It looks like they are going to force back the roaches. At least for the time being. The Oracle even putting in some work as well, focusing down those Ravagers. Firefly does hold. But as you can see, he's still behind economically. Still behind in the overall supply. Dimaga hasn't made a drone in a while. It's been a couple of minutes. It's been like 2 minutes since he's made a drone. Still nothing but Ling Roach. He's looking to go for a super maxed army. Very low drone count, very high army count. Now, this means that if he loses this army, he's not going to be able to rebuild it. Like, he doesn't have the economy to sustain losses. He's pretty all in with this. Dimaga's pretty damn all in, but he does have a pretty large army to speak of. He's going to be pushing up here towards the right-hand side, but Firefly is in position. The Roach is going to be stutter stepping forward here, trying to get on top of these Stalkers as Zealots do come in to help buffer. The Oracles do activate their beams, barely dodging those Biles. Oh, but we have an overcharge behind this as well, and the Roaches, they're just slamming into a brick wall. It looks like Firefly is holding. Wow, despite being down over 50 army supply, it didn't even matter. Roaches, their inflated supply. And Dimaga doesn't have that economy. He can't really continue from here. He's trying to make whatever Roaches he can. But Firefly is now equal in bases and ahead in workers. Dimaga was very committed, and it looks like he is unwavering. I love this. Dimaga, he gets forced back. He's not droning. He's still not droning, by the way. Still just looking to remax once again with more Lings and more Roaches. May as well go for wave 2. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again until someone breaks, until someone lets up. The Roaches once again diving on top of these Stalkers, trading relatively well here. The Lings are coming into support. Do we have an overcharge? We're going to need it. There it is. Is it a little bit too late, though? Dimaga is getting on top of this army, and we need more reinforcements for Firefly. Wow, Dimaga, he breaks on through the shield battery. He gets the shield battery. He gets the Stalkers as well. It looks like Firefly, he is running out of units. He just... Oh my god, it's going to be so close. We have barely another warping of Stalkers here. The Roaches are trickling out. 15 probes go down. It looks like Dimaga is barely breaking that fourth. Ugh. 3 Zealots come in just in time. That's a lot of Oracles. Why are we still... Mate, why are we still making Oracles? What's going on here? What's happening? We have more... What? We have another Oracle on the way. This entire time. I didn't even notice. Firefly. He's just been pumping out Oracles. Against Roaches? Just make a Void Ray, Papi. Make a Void Ray and we win. One Void Ray and the game is over. Aye. Here we go. Force fields do cut up that ramp, and oh, half of these Roaches are going to get sliced up by these Stalkers. Beautiful force fields here by Firefly. Oh, we can see Dimaga shaking his head here. Again, he knows that he has to end the game with this army, and the force fields did put a stop to him. He doesn't have any Ravagers. Yeah, we're just... Maybe Firefly heard me earlier. At the start of this game, I was like, yeah, just don't stop making Oracles. And he listened. Don't listen to me, Papi. It's not... Aye. But with this amount of Oracles, honestly, he can overtake these Queens. He can overtake the Spores as well. If he really wanted to, he can overwhelm one of these Mineral Lions. It is possible. Before that happens, Roaches going for a bit of a hit squad here, going for a bit of a run by on the left-hand side. Don't quite find any damage. Firefly just cleaning up whatever creep he can. Honestly, Firefly is free to just drone to make probes. He has a second robo and a bay on the way, so he's taking into disruptors as we speak. Once again, Dimaga, he hasn't made a drone since like the 7-minute mark, the 6-minute mark. It's been a long time here since he's made any of these workers. He's remaxing once again at time for wave 3. Wave 1 didn't work. Neither did wave 2, but hey, wave 3, it's got some Queens. It's got a lot of Ravagers as well. It's got Biles for those force fields, and the disruptors aren't out yet. Oh, here we go. The Oracles activate their pulsar beams. They do focus on one of those Ravagers. Oh, the first disruptor. This changes everything. Disruptors, they're exactly what Firefly needs. The first Nova goes off, and it does connect. 3 Roaches and 2 Ravagers going down. Another Nova as well. At least zoning away the army. Things are looking a little bit more dire here for Dimaga. He's looking for another way in. He's rotating towards the south, but this is where the Sage Trap is. Oh god! Oh, he sees. He knows. Beautiful Biles on that Sage Trap. Would you see him try to focus down those disruptors as well? The Nova, it is gonna go off. Oh my god. On the juicy center of the Roach Ravager army. Aye. The Blinks are too good as well. They avoid those Biles. And it looks like the Oracles are going to clean this up in the end. Again, Firefly is one of those big names in the Korean scene. GG gets called, and Firefly takes it 2-0. Oh. Just popping off a little bit towards the end there. GG, well played. Firefly was able to survive the road troll in from Dimaga, wave after wave after wave. That second wave, though, was pretty damn close. Dimaga was so close to breaking the 4th base. He had killed the mineral line. He almost reset the stalker count. So damn close. But Firefly was able to defend in the end, survive long enough to get those disruptors out. And with that, Team Starving Camels, SSLT does take the series 5-1. A bit of a rough start here for Berserker Esports, but it's only week 1. It's only round 1. We have plenty more weeks to come here, and these teams that are